This is Ray Balzer with AimPro Billiards. The AimRight is a pocket billiards practice tool for amateur players of all skill levels. Let's examine one and then cover the basics of how to use it, and then I'll give some training advice at the end. Notice the size and shape. It's about 6.5 by 3.5 inches. It's big enough to give good accuracy in setting up known angles, yet small enough to fit in your shirt pocket or your cue case pocket. It has strong contrast for good visibility. It's thin and flexible to allow it to easily lay flat and allow you to shoot over it with no trouble if you choose. Check out the hole. That's where the object ball will rest. Note the heavy line of centers line, LOC, that will be pointed to the target pocket. Two partial ball outlines are there. The solid one is the object ball outline, and the dashed is the ghost ball outline. The ghost ball base is also shown with crosshairs and a circle sized just right to accurately set a donut there if desired. The intersection of the object ball and ghost ball outlines and the LOC is the contact point. And there's the designator, not only of version 2, but the L or R for left or right cut direction. Note the cut angle lines that range from straight in, 0 degrees, to 77 degrees. The angle lines are organized in layers by the fractional ball hit, quarters, eighths, and sixteenths. It makes it easier to see and learn without reading the numbers and allows easy recognition from a distance. The angles themselves are listed in two ways, degrees and ball fraction based on sixteenths. Why 16? Simply because that's the minimum to fully cover half-table shots. The angles are listed to 1/10 of a degree for those who want that much precision. Why are the angles done by ball fractions rather than by equal degrees? Two reasons. Most importantly, because that way visually divides the aiming targets into equal segments. Secondly, to support those who use fractional aiming. Now, there are some other angles too. 84 degrees is there just to help alignment for the 77-degree cut. 90 degrees is there to show the tangent line, which is important for position play. All the other angles are also for position play, most for helping show the rebound angle of the cue ball off a cushion. The user's guide has tables of data in this regard. Let's see how to set up practice shots, because everything starts there. There are several options, primarily whether you want a fast setup and will be quick to move on to other shot locations, or if you want to work on one object ball position for days or longer. Leaving the AimRight on the table for shooting allows faster setup and quick moves, aids some aiming methods, and also helps with learning position play fundamentals. If you just want stroke practice, you could use donuts to set up 1 or 2 shot locations and several cut angles, and then put in the work to develop consistency. If you want to use an object ball donut, put it down first, then lay the AimRight on top with the location hole over the donut and place a ball in the hole. Then carefully aim the LOC at the target pocket. I often put a ball at the pocket to aim at during this setup. Aim at the center if you are no more than 3 feet from the pocket. At longer distances, you might adjust the aim for cut-induced throw. When you align the AimRight, learn about your vision by determining how to align your eyes so that the AimRight alignment is correct. For me, I have to use my dominant eye. If you are going to shoot over the AimRight, secure it now with 2, 3, or even 4 donuts at the corners. Otherwise, consider using 1 donut to prevent inadvertent movement during shot setup, or be careful to not move the AimRight during the next step. The best way to quickly set up a cue ball location for a specific cut angle is to use a cue stick to extend the AimRight cut angle line to the cue ball position. The only issue is where to rest the cue tip. 3 choices: on the AimRight at the ghost ball center, but beware of moving the AimRight, on the far side, and on the near side. If on the far side, you will have to remove the object ball for thick cut angles. If on the near side, touch near the angle line and aim at the ghost ball center. For the other 2 ways, you need to center the cue stick between the adjacent angle lines. Once you have aligned the cue stick, you could just put down the cue ball and shoot. But if you want to repeat the shot more than a few times, you will want to use donuts. For only a single cut angle, just do it. But if setting up for multiple cut angles, it's better to place a ball at the location and move to the next. And after checking that the ball's spacing seems right, replace the balls with donuts. When new to the AimRight angles, you might want to write the angle on the donuts as a reminder. Note that if, for example, you are a pool instructor and have a dedicated practice table for your students, and you want a higher accuracy setup and are willing to spend some more time at it, get a laser line tool from your hardware supplier and use it to display a line, and then put your donuts down on that laser line. You might mark several distances for different difficulty levels. For shooting practice shots, you need to have an aiming method. The AimRight supports virtually any aiming method. More on this later. Beginners usually start with ghost ball aiming. If you shoot over the AimRight, you can use it to help validate your aim. You can check if you are aimed at the ghost ball center. Or you can check if the cue ball contact point is on line to the object ball contact point. It is usually advised that when going to shoot, you should have a good, consistent pre-shot routine. And the final backstroke should be slow and smooth, with a length appropriate for the shot speed. When you shoot, you should hold your position after the shot and check several things. Check if you hit where you aimed, out at the object ball. Then check your Q-tip position. Is it aligned to the AimRight angle line? Is it centered over the cue ball donut? Is the tip height correct for your stroke, level or down? Is the distance past the donut consistent with your stroke speed? You should also check your grip and your grip hand location, that your head hasn't moved. Watch my video on shooting all 16 cut angles for some more tips. Determining the cut angle. When practicing, whether in drills or games, you might find a problem shot. It's often useful to determine that shot's cut angle. You might be misperceiving it, and once you know what the cut angle is, your results will improve. Or maybe you just need to practice that angle in more controlled or easier, like closer conditions. Here's how you measure it. Get the left or right cut AimRight appropriate for the shot. Lift the ball and put the AimRight down and the ball in the hole. Align to the pocket as before. Now use your cue stick to align to the ghost ball location. Use the two AimRight angle lines that straddle the cue ball location and estimate the actual angle. If you are like me and only aim and shoot AimRight angles, then pick the closest one. If halfway between, then pick the thinner cut angle to compensate for cut-induced throw. Recommendations. Note: make sure to set up and shoot cut shots in both cut directions. Most of us have different issues for different cut directions, whether it be sighting, arm swerving, or grip clenching. If you are a beginner, you only should shoot shots that are easy to aim. We recommend straight in and the half ball hit, which is a 30-degree cut. The half ball hit is simply aimed by targeting the center of the cue ball at the outside edge of the object ball. If you are primarily working on your mechanics, stance, stroke, grip, vision, then you should at least temporarily adopt a simple, easy-to-use aiming method so the aim is known and reliable, and you can focus on your stroke mechanics. And you only need to shoot a few of the cut angles. To solidify one's shooting mechanics, we suggest shooting known cut shots with known aims. That's the plan with using the AimRight. And use feedback from shot results to modify stance, stroke, grip, vision, and pre-shot routine to achieve improved results. You should practice at 2 shot speeds, soft with a short stroke and hard with a full stroke. Soft and short forces your fundamental alignment to be correct, and hard and full has you learn to keep your mechanics from breaking down under duress. Then learn to apply topspin and draw while still making the shots. Once your mechanics are fairly sound, then you can focus more on aiming. Gradually work up to all the angles. The thinnest cuts are usually the hardest. Not only might there be visual and perceptual issues, but there's a psychological temptation towards arm swerving. You might experiment with different aiming methods and different eye positions to discover what works best for you. Now, increase shot difficulty with distance and by shooting from awkward locations, such as near the rail or jacked up over a ball or using the mechanical bridge. If you were adventurous, you could consider learning to recognize cut angles in games and shoot the nearest AimRight angle that you have practiced. The 16 basic cut angles are enough for competent play, and experts will want to extend to 32 cut angles by adding in the in-between angles. When you get stuck and struggle with your shooting or aiming, first, be patient, then study. Pay more attention to your body. Video yourself, or get professional coaching. This should get you started. How to use the advanced features like position play angles are covered in the user's guide and in other videos. A note for those with first-generation AimRights. If you want the new features, I'll swap new for old at a modest price. Email me for details. If you're getting value from my videos, please subscribe, buy an AimRight, or donate. Thanks for your support.